The 14th of May in Cornish history. Díth da, hello. Today in 1497 marks the start of around 150 years of Cornish rebellions against England and the Crown. This first rebellion revolved around King Henry VII's increased taxes and conscription of Cornish tinners and ships to fund and fight his war against Scotland. As there was previous upset over the king's policies around tin mining, Cornish was outraged. It argued this was not their war. The actual rebellion would begin after a corrupt tax officer was found to be charging more and pocketing the difference, and so began a march of thousands, starting from St. Keverne to Bodmin and beyond. By the time they entered Devon, the entourage was 15,000 strong, and they sought to gain more supporters as they marched to London, though this largely did not materialise. Their aim was to petition the king to remove two of his advisors accused of creating this policy, with the belief that by not blaming the king, it would not be seen as treasonous. The most famous leader of the rebellion was Michael Joseph, better known as Michael Ann Goff, or Michael the Smith. However, he was joined by a lawyer and former MP, Thomas Flamank, and, from Somerset, a baron called James Touchet. Michael was seen as the popular leader, Flamank created their demands and legal arguments, and Touchet was chosen as their commander. Sadly, it would end in disaster. Despite the almost entirely peaceful march, an army of at least 25,000 was swiftly dispatched to deal with the rebels and capture their leaders. This army was successful just outside of London, and by mid-June, the uprising was over. Ann Goff and Flamank were hung, drawn and quartered, whilst Touchet was beheaded. Their remains were put on display, and Cornish's anger would lead to a second rebellion later that year. And until tomorrow, Jugenis Hamaraz. Thanks, and goodbye.
They were married with speed, and soon to the church they did go.